mind-controlled Dragon Knight. We've seen this a number of times, them providing the old switcheroo where they throw that Dragon Knight into the off lane and grab themselves a carry-type mid for Miracle.
I mean, dude, can it get any hyper? We're at $1 million major. We're in the semi-final with two of the best teams in the world. And one of the greatest players of all time picks out an Invoker.
I mean,
one of his signature heroes.
We've seen this before where there's an Invoker pick and then they just utterly lose right away, right?
Don't go there,
You were the one who suggested an Invoker pickup. We were talking about between games, and it was specifically against a Terrorblade for that reason, right?
I do like, I was going to say, despite what I just said, I do like the Invoker. I mean,
we're on the same track, at least.
Saved himself,
I just don't want to see Quaswex, please.
Okay.
No Quaswex.
No. Okay. Cat, prediction.
I actually can't say no to a Miracle Invoker in this game. I think it's a good matchup here, too. I think it's going to be a good Invoker game, so I'll say Liquid.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the crowd and Cap. Liquid. Invoker, really, not just Liquid, just Invoker.
So, we are ready. Are you ready out there? Are you really ready for the semi-final? Because it's about to kick off, ladies and gentlemen. It's Liquid versus virtus.pro.
What a beautiful matchup. Liquid versus VP. Winner gets into the grand final, but both teams already secured points for the international. Purge, we're here. We get to watch an Invoker, and we're going to watch an Invoker that isn't Quaswex.
Thank God. Did not do so well during the group stage, and I think this is the right game for Exhort as well. There wasn't that much obviousness maybe that Liquid is going to go for this, but between having Dragon Knight as initiator, even Oracle's first skill, Fortune's End, and obviously Echo Stamp, they can actually set up these Sunstrike kills, and it makes their ganking so much better, which is what's so cool about what they did with this pick, because VP's AA as well as Sand it was the most obvious, we're going to kill your heroes in burst fashion. So Oracle gives them that solution against that, and then the other side, they're also going to be able to do it themselves.
Yep. And I can't wait to see the combinations that come out from both these sides. High-quality teams, so high-quality Dota. Strap yourselves in, it's virtus.pro. We're already on the hunt inside the Dire Jungle. You'll hit with the Sunstrike, so first points of damage getting into solo. But this was just VP having a bit of a wander around, trying to force Team Liquid off the runes, but Liquid will still get the bottom, so at the end of the day, it's a scouting mission more than anything else.
Yep, no problem at all for Liquid, and their lanes should be pretty normal. The mid of the VP side is going to be a Tiny, so not very much armor on him, and he might have a little trouble here against an Invoker, but he should be able to get tons of last hits. It all just kind of comes down to HP trades and seeing who can get a kill with rotations.
Now let's actually just have a quick look through our lane, especially as we have ourselves a small pause, so it is going to be no one's Tiny in the mid lane, going against Miracle's Invoker. That then puts Ramses on the bottom lane as the Terrorblade. He'll be battling up against what is a dual lane currently, which is Mind Control's DK and GH. We saw just how great he was with the stacking of that small side camp next to the bottom lane and then just gaining such a huge amount of damage. So watch those camps very closely. Up towards the top lane, it puts Matabaman onto the Lycan. He'll be babysat by Kuro on the Oracle. And that leaves Roger as the roaming SK, Boots and Clarity's first, Pasha off lane as the Doom. So you will actually have the 3-position Doom bringer, even if he does become a hybrid. And then last but not least, Solo, the Ancient Apparition for VP.
So I think the lanes that look pretty good for Liquid, I would say both teams are fairly happy in the mid lane. I think Liquid's off lane of Dragon Knight plus Elder Titan is really good. There was another Elder Titan performance we saw at this tournament where Elder Titan just kind of dumpstered the Terrorblade in lane. He's got a lot of armor, but if you get enough damage, you can chase him down and out-harass him easily, especially with your passive, which will reduce a lot of his base armor. And then in the off lane, I think VP has a little bit of an advantage, maybe a moderate advantage. Having a Sand King as well as a Doom. Doom is conventionally not the strongest offlaner, but in games like this, where he's against a melee hero, it's a really nice advantage because you can do a lot of magic damage yourself using Infernal Blade, and you can just pressure Lycan like crazy before he hits 6. He's going to have a lot of regen, but the trade should almost always go in Doom's advantage.
Yeah, it's not like Oracle's going to harass him out of the lane, right?
Exactly.
This isn't a nuking style of hero unless you look for that final little dose of damage that can come from him, so...
Or Invoker.
Or Invoker.
That's the only scary part for VP playing in that lane. And where AA goes is going to be pretty interesting. He may end up starting the mid lane to give a bigger advantage against the Invoker, or he may end up just shifting all the way bottom to protect Terrorblade, which is what it seems like it's going to be. But I think this is a lane that ET is really happy about, because TB is a melee hero and AA is the ranged one, and it's going to be a lot of ET punching AA in the face.
That is not going to be a happy time for AA. That's going to be a lot of ice shattering on the bottom.
Yeah,
but I still want to wait and see if Solo's going to block up that camp. So is this little side one, GH already getting heavy into Ramses, doing damage with Mind Control, the Dragon Tail stun to begin with. Or Courier, Solo needs one more hit. He won't find it on the other side of the tree line. And GA is still using that plus 10 damage from his Spirit previously to bring Solo down. So Consumable's already being burnt a little bit. Keep your eyes on Miracle. He did go for Sunstrike to start with. So this heavy damage, you have to watch the side lanes. You have to keep your ears out for the Sunstrike.
With that said, no one's getting a lot of last hits at the start here. He's got 80 base damage, and he has a Quelling Blade. So him missing last hits is basically not going to happen, but he does have to be a bit worried about positioning. So this is definitely the action lane on the bot lane here between Liquid as well as VP, but there is always the threat of a kill on the top lane, as long as there is a little bit of harass, and if SK ends up approaching at the right time when somebody's a bit low, it could be a kill on somebody like Matoma Man.
This is a terrific lane so far for no one. I know we're only a minute and a half in, but he's 9-5 for the CS against Miracle's 2-1. This is not the way Miracle really wants to start off this lane.
That makes sense, though. Invoker's base damage is not great. The Exhort helps, but against an 80 damage Tiny, it's just not even close to the same. But once Miracle pulls away a little bit in levels, he's going to deal way more harass to no one than no one's going to be able to deal back. But then it comes down to Tiny's advantage of being able to toss back Miracle to a potential support. So if Sand King roams over, it's definitely a possible Invoker kill.
Damn, that damage. GH with a howl, pop up too. Solo cannot escape. Solo knew before he used his TP scroll to go back to the tier 1 tower once GH had a little bit of that buff. And why am I not surprised that the dual off lane of Team Liquid is so heavily influenced by this Elder Titan?
And again, the large camp isn't blocked here. It's fully spawned, it hasn't been stacked yet, and it's going to be a bit before Liquid can stack it. But even without that, they still did really well.
This is Virtus.pro. We saw this on the main stage yesterday. Virtus.pro most definitely saw it. They have to try and counter this in some way, but how do you do it? Do you just try and have a crack up at the top? Do you play out the game? Do you allow the levels to come in? Right now they're winning on CS. All three of the cores for Virtus.pro have gotten over the 2-digit mark already, while Liquid are only just about to claim that with Miracle, thanks to the double damage rune he found.
But it is offset by kills, and Elder Titan getting the first blood is going to change everything and makes the game about even. So while VP can be happy that they're winning the lanes a bit here, if the kills keep continuing for Liquid side, I don't think they really care that much. They're getting slightly outlaned right now, because they can turn out kills later with good ganks. And Roger does his first rotation here. Smoke is popped. They've got 2 points in toss on Tiny, so Miracle's got to be careful, and we'll see if he can prevent this kill from happening.
Yeah, it's still going to be difficult for no one to position perfectly to get around and throw Miracle back.
The hardest part is Miracle sensing when there's danger. If no one runs forward at a weird time, he's going to read this, and he's going to realize the gank is coming. And instead, they might just have to do a toss forward on SK into an avalanche follow, but that's going to be hard on damage.
Sunstrike onto Solo, real trouble. Solo's dropping down low. One more attack from Mind Control will do it. He goes in the trees, trying to block himself out. Won't work, however. But both GH and Mind Control limping away to safety.
It's a great attempt by A, trying to prevent Mind Control from getting the kill, but even gets to eat his planted Ironwood branch in success, so pretty good for Liquid.
Easy regeneration.
And Aqua's picked up on Invoker now, so his armor advantage is even higher on the mid lane. His damage is now pretty much around where Tiny's is, so we're going to see a lot more gap closing in terms of last hits.
I think GH may be a little bit annoyed. For some reason, his Spirit went down, but it didn't aggro the Saturn Tormentor. Yep, true. Matubberman in trouble. There's your little bit of extra heal. Kuro keeps him alive. Matubberman is the poison.
That was such a sick play on Liquid side. Matoma Man was in trouble for a long time there. He used the Wolves to slow down Roger's ability to get close to even land the Burrow Strike. And as soon as the Inferno Blade hit was the same time that Kuro used Fortune's End, which basically stops all of the damage over time that Inferno Blade deals.
Well, he's having to do it again once more. The jump in comes from SK. Matumba needs space to get out. The Howl will give that bonus, and Roger ticking down so quickly. That's that Kuro nuke coming into play. Pasha wants to go for more, but his Scorched Earth is just worn out, so he'll start his run back. Sunstrike is off cooldown, a level 3 on that one, so let's hold him in position. The Wolves are staying with Pasha, but they won't toss it out. It wouldn't be enough for a kill. Not yet.
So still doing a great job fighting this lane. The Oracle is working so well against the Doom in the laning stage, and it's going to be just as good later.
They're going on Ramses. Really just trying to push him down solo. Gives the Chilling Touch bonus effect. The ET Spirit comes out, and Ramses will think twice about it.
It's just too hard for them to commit on killing a Dragon Knight for now.
Oh, wow.
Go for the Stomp, but it's going to be way off here.
Yep.
Pretty costly usage there for GH. He doesn't have that much mana in the early game. But they can still use a Shrine, maybe.
He needs that mana too. 80 mana for every single time he wants to put that Spirit down. And start soaking up the extra damage.
And while Liquid's offlane is going so well, they're going to be safe on their safe lane and just put Matumba Man into the jungle. Because he can jungle still pretty rapidly, especially with Feral Impulse. He tanks, him and his wolves do a bunch of damage, and he will still get some gold. In the meantime, Crow just hides for farm. And experience, mostly.
Yeah. Able to get a very powerful Oracle, get that early false promise up.
With that said, though, I mean, Doom is going to free farm as a result, and that means if he gets a fast 6 and then turns out kills every time he gets Doom, it's going to be huge for VP, and that's one of the best things about Doom, is that he gives you a fairly reliable kill every single time that Doom is up, you know, every 2.5 minutes.
Yeah. That's the old phrase, right? You delete one hero before the fight begins because they have to deal with the Doom. ET is now jumped up to the top lane. Thanks to the Observer Ward from virtus.pro, they are fully aware that GH has done the rotation. And Kuro's got his own aggressive ward down, so he also knows that Roger is not staying around. In fact, it's SK who TP's down to bottom lane, trying to add pressure to mind control.
They look like such a good TP. Like, if you know that there's 3 heroes in the lane that you're sitting in, it's time for you to leave, because now you know there's not an extra hero in the bot lane, and he had just TP top. But they didn't quite initiate that perfectly. You probably should have wrapped around to get an initiation off in the DK, because they maybe could have gotten that kill. And instead, they're going to alternate this and go for the mid.
Yep, they're coming after Miracle. GH is already moving down too. The Observer Award is giving VP all that high ground vision they want to. So Spirit into Stomp, needs to create space. Able to get the double stun on both Solo as well as Roger. Miracle wants to fight. The Cold Feet will trigger on him. Roger dodging with the Sandstorm, but he won't dodge the Stun Strike from Miracle. Is able to connect. VP with the Instigators, but they're the ones burying the dead.
Very good plays by them. And on the opposite side of the map, Pasha was a smidgen away from getting Doom, but ends up using Scorched Earth a little bit earlier there, so now it's going to be even harder for him to kill Lycan if he does want to chase him down, now that they're in this 1v1 matchup. It's hard to grab this kill solo without Scorched Earth, but maybe he'll be able to. He's definitely thinking about it. Matoma Man's got to be really careful right now.
He's just holding it for now. No TP support will come. Elder Titan doesn't have one available, and Kuro already just burned his to go to the mid. So ET has to walk back up to the top.
Soul Ring's kind of an interesting Doom build here. Helps him basically cast Devour whenever he wants, and also really abuse his creep nuke, which most of the time can't be afforded, but it's only 50 mana for some of these abilities, so with a Soul Ring he can just do an Inferno Blade and a Thunderclap all the time just to do easy harass. It's a smart way to play the hero, makes him a lot more efficient in lane.
There's a little bit of chip damage by Ramses. I want to say onto the bottom tower when he burned his Metamorphosis, but it was purely to engage into mind control. But thanks to the 2 points up in Dragon Blood, and okay, now also Dragon Form being burned by mind control. They want to have a crack at him. Yeah, GH going to go into the Stomp. He doesn't have mana for a TP, slowed down by Caustic, but the high movement speed anyway from the ET Spirit just lets him keep running. Roger, the Observe Ward gave him a little bit of extra information if he wants to keep the chase going, but he does not have the movement speed to get there.
I'm pretty sure VP dropped that kill completely. Doom did not use Thunderclap. I'm pretty sure he had it before he got stomped, and GH ends up surviving. So at least they didn't use Doom, but either way, VP seems to have pretty dominant control of the lanes right now.
Yeah. Just try and stay on top as far as the net worth goes. Mind Control's having a good time on bottom, keeping Terrorblade as low as he can, even though Ramses does have the 1 charges available.
Yeah, his lane is definitely going well on Dragon Knight's side. So every time he attacks the tower, it's 100 damage. It'll add up in the end. But I think Roger's also getting a lot done here, constantly looking around and scaring and worrying Matamba Man whenever he spots him.
Heavy rotation stop. Matamba's going to trigger his shapeshift. They're going to look for the Spirit on top of Doom. Thanks to Fortune's End, they can hold him in position to get the follow-up stomp, and there is no way for Pasha just to run out of this one. Who does he want to Doom, if anyone? When no one does his rotation, the Burrow Strike will miss. No one hasn't decided on a target just yet. It'll be the Avalanche into GH. Couple of stick charges and some space. Kuro giving him that regeneration, and virtus.pro, they haven't got the control they were looking for as Liquid will retreat.
That was a super big play by Kuro. He uses Fate's Edict while GH was in air. That stops the toss damage and completely nullifies VP's ability to do magic damage. Really sick play by Kuro. There's a high chance that GH goes down if that wasn't done by Kuro here. And he's basically just shutting down a lot of these rotations. And that was the mid player teleporting all the way to the top lane to try to make a kill happen. It doesn't happen. Miracle gets tower damage and just not good for VP.
They're still trying to force the top lane. The Stomp is making it difficult for Pasha and Roger. They'll pull the creep wave instead. When Tubman's back to the jungle, he knows his 2 supports have that top lane locked down. Bottom lane, however, might be a little bit different. Ramses has a double damage rune and level 4 Metamorphosis just ready to go. So Mind Control will need a little bit of extra assistance to hold this bottom tier 1 tower.
At least he has Breathe Fire. It can reduce the damage that he's doing illusion-wise. It's one good thing, but he's going to play this safe here. He does catch just the illusion, though, so that means Ramsey's doing full damage, and this tower's going to take a lot of damage.
Yeah, Fortification has to be burned by Team Liquid. ET's moved over, so again, GH understands where the attack is coming. He ends up getting the Spirit damage in, so he'll say hello to Roger, plus 66 damage. The GH should beat into that Sand King.
And Terrorblade loses a lot of health, but this is the danger territory here for Liquid, because that just means more Sunder potential if they catch a hero out of position. So they have to be very careful. And that's why GH moves these positions.
The Sunstrike!
That was so sick. Roger doing his best there to get close to try to split the Sunstrike damage, but I think he would have had to commit a Burrow Strike to get closer faster. And a great play there by Liquid.
They're going to go for more. With that stun out, Roger has to Burrow Strike himself away. The Cold Feet will control, Mind Control Roger! So low on life. He needs some space to regenerate up. GH, he's 9 HP. The Sunstrike will be off the mark. Spirits in 2, 1, 0. GH, he has to get it back under the tower. Chasing Roger, the Cold Feet. GH will run left. His Spirit runs right. Roger stays alive on 22 HP. Mind Control was a little bit too far away to get the extra damage. And now do we just wait the 8 seconds for Sunstrike to come back off cooldown? Nah, they're going to shrine it up. He'll be fine.
Oh, he'll go for it.
And then he'll end up being solo.
I don't know if it'll work yet. They're pinging now. Maybe he will not. They do get some tower damage. That kind of tells them that they want to shrine. And Mind Control might die for this, but he's going to get the tower very low.
He's got 1 charges as well as the ability to TP, but when there's that many stuns around him, not enough regeneration to save you, Mind Control. So bottom tower will be denied by virtus.pro. And that's the first kill for virtus.pro. Took him over 12 minutes to claim.
And again, Miracle's slapping the mid tower. It's in deniable range once again, so maybe we won't see Liquid get any towers, but I mean, they're dead. They're just not last hits. That's good enough.
The Lycan Wolves are looking for it. Miracle will come in to help out too, but still no one denied the tower. Matumberman and Miracle were committing for this. So 2 towers down.
They just can't gap close and get the disable off. Like all of their heroes, while Liquid can do this bursty thing with Elder Titan and Sunstrikes, and it isn't really going to be until like Blink on Dragonite that somebody that's running away on VP side is super threatened. Because it takes a lot of heroes for Liquid to do these combos. It's one negative of what they're working with here. And we still haven't seen a Doom yet out of VP either, but Pasha has been around the map, showing up at the right times to pressure the right heroes.
Miracle, he's ready to fight. Their Dire Observer Ward saw him go down. Ramses now tries to go up the hill. There's your combination from Miracle, and Ramses tries to Sunder. The continuous stuns from Mind Control and Miracle go to work, while in mid lane, the initiation was onto Matumberman. So a core for core trade-off, and VP will get damage into a tier 1 tower now.
And still not too much used. Though. So they still have Doom ready to go at all points. I mean, kind of a cool build.
Toss, throwing back into the river. Kuro, no one with that early blink dagger is able to put it to work, and there's nothing Kuro can do to save his life. No one actually gets a double kill out of this. And virtus.pro keep the pressure up, but they're still giving split push. Mind Control is on top of that tier 1 tower.
And during this whole time, the best thing about split push is you're usually killing entire creep waves. So even if Mind Control does die for these pushes, he's getting closer and closer to Blink Dagger, which at that point is just going to make him a great ganking and teamfight hero. So it's going fine for VP. They technically have an advantage in terms of gold, but Liquid seems to be getting a little bit more out of the map, perhaps.
Yeah, your technical advantage, you're right. Like it's only ever spiked just slightly over the 1K mark. Gold-wise advantage for virtus.pro.
If Liquid had gotten those last hits on towers, they'd just certainly be in a big gold advantage right now. Maybe not big, but a gold advantage.
I'm still waiting for Doom. Bottom lane, Fire Strike is out. They found Matumberman. He's looking to get out of this one, but with the epicenter, there's too much slow, too much damage. And Roger will get the kill onto Matumba.
Pretty easy kill right now. On the other side of the map, Ramses is sitting to push out the top lane, but Liquid's setting up for this one.
Yep.
This could definitely be a kill if they get the stomp. Okay.
They need that stomp to happen so the Sunstrike can connect. It's almost max Exort Doom. It's onto Mind Control. Ramses turning into the Metamorphosis. Kuro is there to protect him as long as he possibly can. Just give more life regeneration, but Solo and no one also arrive into the party. They'll group them together, tossing Kuro in. Mind Control and Kuro both going down to the 3-position Doombringer.
It was a good attempt at a save, but that was just way too much damage. They were taking magic, they were taking tons of Terrorblade physical that whole duration, and a great chase and definitely good use of Doom. VP's not going to slow down. They'll look for their next kill. Matabaman's still been ultra pressured here. They know he just respawned, and look at this. They ran straight. They knew where he would be. They just have to gap close.
The Observe Ward gives them all the information they require.
There they go.
So they're waiting for everything to get brought down, or Ice Blast pop. And goodbye, Lycan. The jungle is no longer a safety zone. It's the danger zone.
It's just so sick how they did that. They didn't even defend Ramses pushing the top lane. They knew that Liquid was not going to be able to defend right now, so they instantly smoke and go where he's going to farm. And by doing so, it means that Ramses at perfect efficiency, and then they can instantly transition to the next objective. So they took this one objective win, and they turned it into a kill and a second tower. VP's now all of a sudden in a huge position win.
And they're looking to keep the pressure up. That Blink Dagger is not there for DK, so Liquid don't have that initiation. All they have is the Spirit Stomp for GH to stall the attack from virtus.pro. There's still no points up in natural order. It's a 3-2 currently for GH. He needs some space, he needs some levels. Very under-leveled ET.
It's okay though, because he can turn ganks around, and once enemy heroes die in his vicinity, he's going to get power leveled by the much higher level opponents. And I don't think it's a huge deal if he doesn't have his ultimate, for example. I'm more worried about maybe some natural order levels, since they are having a lot of trouble getting kills. So VP will take a small moment where they actually back up and grab some farm, but it just means they're going to grab things from the base, like this blink on Doom, which now makes his life a lot easier.
Miracle's living in a little bit of fear. Hiding in the tree line on the bottom is a 4-man smoke up from Liquid, hoping for some kind of option, but Miracle's still not showing himself. He only wants to fight under the tower. The Ice Blast, well, okay.
He's just very worried about VP diving right now.
Oh, here they come. Team Liquid, blink in, stun. They want the kill on the Terrorblade. The Sunstrike may help him to do it. In fact, it does do it. Ramses will fall. Still a 1-for-1 trade-off as that Lycan had really no say in his own death. Pasha on the back of Kuro and Mind Control. They're split up. That's the medic as well as the primary carry. Kuro can't get enough damage out, but Mind Control can blink and get the stun. Yes! Avalanche from no one. It was a pebble away from connecting.
Solo's small mistake there. Needed to attack to prevent the blink into the trees, but ultimately they tried to finish off with a toss and not long enough on the cooldown. But either way, Liquid knew the reason Miracle was sitting so back is because they knew that VP was either healing or that they were on a pressure move to the top tier 2. So they played it well, they initiated, but they just didn't quite have enough damage to clean up the rest of the fight. They pick up the Terrorblade though, and that's definitely the best and most dangerous hero to kill at the start.
Yep. And the kill went to Miracle during the fight too, so he's now top net worth on the field. Roger on the run. Will be easily successful. Team Liquid not wanting to fight when Shapeshift is down, Dragon Form is down.
Tiny looking for kills again, and they know where Matabaman likes to farm.
In inside of his own jungle, it's not like he's an anti-mage, he's more maneuverable. You're already going to start with the Flexo. Matabaman trying to get back to his tier 2 tower. Support is coming in from Team Liquid. Can Matumba survive long enough? No, he cannot. The final tree snap will break its back. Solo and Roger are starting to flank around the side too, so you can jump in, but the initiation and the combination was all in the illusion of Solo. It was the illusion ruined to Roger and Solo combined together. False promise, protecting Mind Control for the moment. Kuro needs to give him more life. Kuro, however, has nothing more to give. His life is forfeit. Mind Control does survive.
VP is playing this game impeccably. They're just pressuring multiple areas of the map at the same time. They know what the limits of their heroes are. They give up on the Dragonite, knowing that he's going to regen too much, and they can just eat Oracle for free. And they just own the enemy jungle. Liquid hasn't had any space to really make the things happen that they want. I haven't felt any impact from a Lycan in this game. He's been pressured, and now he just doesn't contribute to fights very well until he gets some survivability. But he can't just rush BKB and think that everything's going to be fine. It's just a tough Lycan game now.
He's still committed to the Necro books.
I feel like he has to finish it. It's definitely one of the best ways the hero can become useful, because if he goes BKB, then that contributes or makes him only good at team fighting.
Blink up, initiation, as the Ice Blast is coming in. It's real problems for Liquid. They get hit by this so hard. Kuro able to deny Miracle. While Miracle gets a revenge, Mind Control can't go anywhere. Locked inside the Cold Feet. Roger hiding inside the Sandstorm, but they had the dust out, so at least they're able to wrap him up. Underneath the tier 3 towers is where Liquid are currently dying. No one in Pasha, just unstoppable.
They're playing so well. I mean, the only thing that went well for Liquid in that fight was that Kuro was able to kill his ally so that he couldn't give golden experience to the enemy team, which was a good grab because Invoker was certainly going to die there. But it's only at a loss of their 2 supports on VP side, and their cores continue farming in this time period, collecting items that are going to be hard for Liquid to fight against in the late game.
I've had no one still hunting Matumberman. He's got one job currently. Ensure the Lycan never gets big, so let's see that fight once more. And no one, easy combination, just walking up the hill just to crack Miracle. And Kuro, yep, denies him, then gets doomed himself, so no more influence from the Oracle.
He was doomed, right? Did Invoker get doomed? No, he didn't.
No.
I actually am very confused how he's able to deny him. What am I missing? I'm missing something.
He had Ice Blast, would have been affected by Caustic.
I mean, but the only thing you should be able to deny is Doom. That's why I'm confused, right?
Infernal?
That should not be deniable. I'm
got?
not sure. I really don't know. I'll see. I'll look at the Reddit thread later, I guess. I'm confused.
Someone will explain it. But for now, Team Liquid are just in recovery mode. That gold graph has really started to spike up. Now almost 10,000 net worth advantage for virtus.pro, 8,000 for the experience. It's just going to start to increase as Team Liquid, with every single engagement that happens, prove that they're just not able to. So let's see this in slow motion.
All right, Burrow Strike, Ice Blast, looking for debuffs. He was dusted, and he got Purifying Flamed. I saw that part, and then he just denied him. I feel like he shouldn't be able to. I still don't know.
Isn't it an ability from Oracle that can do that?
I don't think so, but I might be wrong.
All right.
I'm not sure.
Anyway.
We'll find out later.
Yep. Let's focus on the here and now. So Team Liquid, they 5-man group up, ready to fight up on top lane. They don't have these BKBs available yet, just the level 2 Necro books, and they're hoping that VP will oblige them. You were mentioning previously that virtus.pro one big core kill in favor of Team Liquid can just start to turn this around for all the supports. But that tier 2 tower goes down, and virtus.pro, they are pushing rapidly into the mid lane, and Team Liquid need to come back. You have TP on the Lycan, they're trying to get the best trade-off possible. Miracle can slow the push, so the tier 1 tower on top does go the way of Liquid. Miracle getting the last hit on that.
I think I figured it out. Maybe not. I'm not sure.
You looking back through the combat log, it's going to pester you.
I think it was that Kuro attacked him, which put him within Ice Blast threshold range before the Ice Blast tick caused the kill. So because Kuro was the one to put him below that threshold, he ended up dying, but the source was Oracle. That's why when you attack somebody into threshold range on AA and it gets him low enough, you get the kill and not AA, even though technically it was the threshold, you know? It was something like that, but I'm not sure how he's able to attack him, because you should only be able to do that when he's doomed or something. I'm not sure. But I think it was Ice Blast related, I'm pretty sure. Mystery may be solved.
Maybe solved. Relax, Patch. We'll just focus on the new stuff coming up. I'll give you another thing to debunk. Level 3 Necrobook is now done over on Matumberman, so they'll get a little bit more detection. Difficult when you've got a Shadow Blade from no one already there. Here comes your Ice Blast. The Avalanche will connect Matumba. Broken free with a False Promise. Sunstrike position's really good, so Solo will fall. They're tossing back Mind Control, but Matumberman on the front lines trying to battle against no one. Rogers prepping up the epicenter. He'll jump in, goes over towards Kuro. Dust is there for the reveal, so no way to hide inside the Sandstorm. Roger is falling down too. A double kill for Miracle. They're feeding the beast, and I don't mean the dragon. I mean Miracle.
They really needed that after the last couple of fights, and a great initiation with Dragonite finally pays off. And the hero that they found was Ancient Apparition. That's the guy that they want to kill. It's by far the squishiest, and that's where Liquid needs to start to win the fights. Unless they can kill something like Tiny or Doom or wait until VP spread out, that's probably the best fight they can look for at the moment.
Matumba's able to get rid of that Observer Ward that Kuro was looking for with the Sentry. So vision gets a little bit more restrictive for virtus.pro, but they've got one that's very, very deep. It's inside the Dire base on the top. So it's watching the Courier coming out with the smoke. Don't know if they actually want to get any kind of information from this at all. But they're going for Roshan. Okay, virtus.pro.
I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? I feel like they've been dominating this game for like 15 minutes. Normally when you're winning, what you do is take Roche, but their heroes aren't great at it is the reason that they probably haven't yet. And to even take it, it might take them committing Metamorphosis, which
and the ET Spirit's going to come and have a look. So yeah, okay, they know.
This is hard to do, right? Because the ET Spirit can scout it out. You have to commit Metamorphosis, which then makes the next couple of fights a little bit weird. But I think it's definitely time for them to go for this.
Well, it looks like Liquid are not going to do anything about contesting it. Miracle's pushing the bottom lane with Forge Spirits. The Stomp is just slowing things down. The Wolves hoping for a deny, but it won't happen. Sunstrike, the timing.
It's pretty close.
Oh, it was close, but not close enough.
Not a bad attempt, but that puts TB very close to his own BKB, and he's definitely been the core that's been focused in all of these early engagements, and that's not going to be possible anymore unless he gets chain stunned into Sunstrike. But if he is ready for the fight, he's going to pop the BKB early. He's going to walk in and he's going to get a full damage contribution.
Team Liquid are on the way. The Ice Blast flying to the bottom lane to do a little bit of scouting. It won't find anybody. So virtus.pro know no one's hunting on the bottom lane, and they don't see anyone inside the base of Team Liquid. So they're on full retreat. And the Observe Ward will give nice high ground vision for Liquid, but no one is close by. So right now, Liquid, if they're going to get something out of this, it's that bottom tower. Maybe it'll help when Pasha TP's in like this.
They don't know, though, necessarily.
But there's no Metamorphosis. This is the issue now for virtus.pro. They don't have that high damage. Secondary TP's coming. Blink, Doom, Miracle is the primary target. Kuro going to start giving him the life. They need to keep him alive for the moment. But Toss throwing Ramses in deep into the fight. And the Ice Blast is going to help out hugely. Connecting onto Miracle. Ice Blast and Doom. Goodbye, Invoker. Pasha will lose his life for this, however. So it's a 1-for-1 trade-off. That's a big streak to end for Matumberman as Ramses getting tossed up near Matumberman. He needs that extra damage, and Matumberman can just get back out again. No avalanche, no stun, no control.
The snack was just too tempting for Doom there. He gets the 200 gold, but he kills himself in the process. But ultimately,
that's what happened.
That is what happened. Ultimately, very good for VP, grabbing the kill. His initiation was missed slightly, but now they're going to catch Oracle as well, and that's 2 dead heroes, and it's time to go high ground here.
Yep. GH has to delay this 27 seconds. The fortification is not available for Team Liquid, and the stun's mind control. Terrorblade put to sleep for the moment. They lost their courier as well in the middle of all of that.
Someone on Liquid misclicking it, apparently, or angry. Could be feeding, you never know.
They do not want to burn this buyback on the Invoker. They need more time. Ramses, they can't work out if they can kill off the range and the melee, so no one's attacking the melee. Ramses is attacking the range racks. They both avoid the stomp. Hence paddling on either side, but Invoker is up. Ramses is low. You know he would love a Sunder. The Sunstrike in the backline solo almost walked back into it.
The way they're
and where's the jump?
So
no one. He goes in deep. EMP Tornado with the Ice Path and the Stomp. It actually catches 2 of them. Here comes your Ice Blast. Miracle to get caught with this one. Matumberman lucky to be not, but then again the mirror. It's just the images coming out from Terrorblade. They're their own worst enemy, Team Liquid. No one. He may even get out of this one with the Infernal Blade stopping the DK. No one is living in the tree lines. Mind Control can't reach him. Liquid were battling inside the base, and Mind Control is stranded outside of it. Breathe Fire can't even reach no one. VP's positioning. It's the perfect split.
The only thing that goes bad is AA being tossed in, but VP is just outmaneuvering Liquid at this point. They have better diving heroes. They've got survivability. They've got Aegis. The way that Ramses was even pressuring the racks was extremely safe. And Liquid also trying to think one step ahead of them, but VP just has the advantage here, and they're playing slightly better.
This is beyond problematic for Team Liquid. virtus.pro claim the entire mid racks. They will back out. Things were looking a little bit okay for Liquid, even with that bottom fight. The trade-offs for the streak that was taken away from the Doombringer. The money was good for Liquid, but they just couldn't hold after Oracle got picked, and they couldn't delay long enough for Miracle to be in fighting shape.
On the bright side, there is going to be a lull here, so that's going to allow Liquid to finally move across the map a bit. And Miracle does have enough levels now where he feels comfortable using Wex spells as well. And it helped a little bit in the fights, but they're still having some lockdown problems, and VP still team fighting very smart. They're always going for the backline, hitting up Oracle as he comes forward to try to defend an ally. Always looking for those opportunities, and their heroes are just scaling so well with their items. Tiny Shadowblade into AC, now he's going to buy a BKB. That thing's going to last for a very long duration, for a long period of time in this game. And when you're up against an Invoker, that's the exact item you need to try to prevent Miracle from being able to solo carry the game.
It's going to seem like an eternity for Team Liquid in those engagements. How do you control? I'm still not feeling the power from Lycan. With the plate mail, at least he's got some armor to work with, but he's still so under-leveled.
Yeah, that's actually a big issue. It's just, how does he damage somebody like Doom who has a plate mail already? And all these guys have BKBs, so it's not even like he gets to stand there and auto-attack. He has to fear these AoEs that come through, like Burrow Strike and Ice Blast, because if he knows he gets caught by those, it's going to severely limit his ability to dive, and he has to worry about getting killed just with a stun or two.
Yep.
It's a tough fight for him, so he needs to be able to stay alive, be around for some of these hero kills, then he could catapult ahead in levels.
Yep.
Or really, Liquid would probably be happy with any deaths that they can get on the enemy team.
No, they would have been ecstatic just getting the kill on Pasha.
Yeah.
But, yeah, this is beyond hard. They need to get a better vision advantage. They need that initiation stun to work for Liquid to get back into this. And in the meantime, virtus.pro just has to keep the status quo, continuously farming very effectively, especially when you have, like, Doombringer's already so far in front. And he's catching up to the Invoker at this point to claim the top 3 positions. Deval's always going to help with this.
That's a free Midas, right? Doesn't actually have to buy his own. So
yep.
His team's winning. He's doing really well, 6-1 and 7 here.
Liquid are preparing again on bottom lane. They're hoping for a good engagement, so Lycan just keeps the pressure up. Miracle can give some Forge Spirits. I'm not certain if they can really force this engagement.
They're in slightly better positioning than they were before, though, because Dragon Knight finally finished his BKB, so at the least he doesn't have to worry about being in danger. He can just try to maximize his damage. Not that there's a lot of it right now. He's even going the health perk over the damage, but
the top lane's also pushing in.
And they have to do moves like this. Yeah, they're going to get ice blasted, and sometimes VP will just avoid the kills, but Liquid does have to make these maneuvers outside of their base. Otherwise, there's no way they'll catch up, because VP will just be able to split up a little bit. They have the better individual gankers and the better 2-hero gankers, whereas Liquid can't get caught by themselves or separately, because there's just going to be a second Rax, and at that point, the chances of winning the game are going to be so much lower. Yeah.
Because their counter push is terrible compared to virtus.pro's. Like, virtus.pro can just start cleaving through waves. Even SK by himself is a great split pusher.
And they just have better catch, too. A lot more Blink Daggers, more Shadow Blades, 3 Blinks on VP side. Liquid has some, but if their heroes get caught, they're almost for sure dead. Yep. Lycan included, really.
And they're going to start to get kited. That Skadi is rapidly approaching for Ramses.
That'll be pretty nice.
It's going to be difficult for anyone to keep up in the fights. But virtus.pro being very patient about it all. They still have a tier 2 tower in the bottom lane to bring down. They're using the Ice Blast to keep the split push under control.
As a whole, though, the Skadi won't do that much against Liquid's heroes. I mean, if Lycan's in ulti form, he doesn't really care that much. I mean, maybe Dragon Knight is definitely countered by it once he pops BKB, but it's probably just a safe survivability, tankiness item, the standard Terrorblade transition, and he wants HP more than something like Raw Butterfly. So nothing that weird about his build, and it's not necessarily going to super counter his opponents, but it's definitely the right item to pick up here.
I like how the couriers say hi to get that. So the Shiva's Guard flies up to the Radiant secret shop.
Yep, definitely a lot safer, and that's Matumba Man's.
Yep.
Kind of an interesting item choice here, but it will give some slow against the enemy team, and reduce their attack speed is very useful this game, especially against TB Illusions.
And he really needed something, but buyback-wise, it's not a happy place for him. No one apart from the ET has buyback on Team Liquid. So as the push comes high ground, not seeing VP force it, they can just go for the easier target, which will be the Shrine, making sure Liquid cannot TP in behind them. Was opened up after they took out that mid lane of Rax.
But they've got a gem as well at this point with their advantage, so any wards that Liquid wants are probably not going to be around. Now, they do have wolves at least. They can scout with those, and that's what they've been doing very heavily.
They're coming to fight
but
quickly.
They can also just eat the wolves. So
where's your first target? Danger. Miracle, Ramses, the smoke breaks. They know someone's in the trees. GH, wait for the spirit. Necrobook's being burned as well. They're worried about Invis. Roger's nearby. Mind Control needs a good jump stun, and now he's found it. It's no one's tiny, but the BKB comes up, and here comes Pasha as well. Ice Blast, no! Miracle's in huge world's a problem. Kuro can't save him anymore. The ET Splitter will buy some level of space for Team Liquid, but Miracle, he'll pop in just a second, and that second is now. Mind Control can't retreat either. They're right behind him, slowed down by the Skadi. The ET Stomp creates a little bit of space. Blink Dagger now off cooldown, down the river.
No way, is it follow him? Okay. I don't know if that was going to keep going all the way, but basically what won that team fight was status resistance on Tiny. He was initiated on. He should have been bursted in that moment, but all of a sudden he gets to pop BKB far earlier than a normal hero. And that's because any stuns that hit him only last for like 50% of the duration. So Tiny ends up getting his BKB off, and all of a sudden Liquid's initiation turns around the opposite way. Even with Invoker getting doomed, at least if they kill Tiny, the fight would have been winnable in some ways.
Yep. It's like the perfect situation for Team Liquid, apart from the fact that it was Tiny. Take any other hero into that position.
Or they would have had to have some kind of disable follow-up or knowledge that he was going to be there. That way they could all do as much damage as possible in like the first second or so before his BKB gets popped. But it's a hard position to chain stun that guy, and because he buys the BKB late, even doing physical damage through that feels impossible.
virtus.pro are on the hunt once more. Team Liquid have been burning a lot of smokes, but you know what VP are looking for? It's Matumba Man, and he's walking directly into them. No one, avalanche toss, ice blast, boom.
Dude.
Goodbye, Lycan.
They're playing so safe. They were smoked. They walked past bounty runes without picking them up because they did not want to let Liquid see the bounties disappearing. Like, they know kills are all that matters here. They don't want to gamble on anything with this huge advantage.
Well, this is how they get their opportunity, just to take that high ground, take the game, and potentially be one match away from eliminating Team Liquid.
mean, Doom does provide the solutions. Invoker and Miracle especially has in many cases carried his team from a position like this with just amazing use of spell abilities. But Ags is pretty countered if you get doomed and you can't cast a spell for a whole 16 seconds. And that's what makes this tough. Every team that fights, or every time that they end up fighting and Doom goes on Invoker, Oracle can save him potentially if their fight goes about even, but he's been having trouble doing that and also staying alive.
It'd be so hard as well to get away from Pasha. He stole the Purge creep. So he's got Blink Purge with the Shivas, with the Infernal Blade, with the Doom. He's just a disable Central.
And the cooldown's so low, and he's got so much mana, this is fine. He could just basically permanently chase whoever he dooms and go for the kill. And now, I feel like if Liquid had won the laning stage a little bit more, and then they were doing stuff like sieging towards VP side, then Oracle would look like an amazing hero right now. But he doesn't have any items to defend himself other than Wand. So it's like every fight starts, he's not feeling as much impact as we've seen in the other games when Oracle has been played by Kuro. Very hard game for Liquid when they're trying to catch up here.
Yeah, but they're getting as much space as they can, forcing out the top lane, but they're committing a lot just to get Miracle more money.
I mean, that's basically what they need. They've got Lincoln Sphere. BKB afterwards would certainly solve some issues, especially because if he BKBs, then the only way to break Lincoln's, most likely, he would have to get an ensnare creep on Doom, or I think that's about it. Only thing that'll go through BKB. Abyssal Blade.
Butterfly is done for Ramses. You got a Crystallis into the Tiny. So damage increase for no one. He wants the full Daedalus. He's going to hit hard, especially if they can give him extra life. 10 seconds till Roshan will spawn up. virtus.pro just have to be patient. As the line gets drawn. Not quite certain if that was actually drawn by no one. Cutting the line down the mid lane. So Roshan's up, and VP should be able to take this quite comfortably. Aegis and Cheese, only the second Roshan.
Oh, the gem that Liquid has, they actually stole it from Roger when he died in the last fight. They must have snuck that one out of there. It's something to work for at least. Now they feel like they have better control over the area near them. And with Elder Titan, they can definitely scout all the weird spots very easily with no resources. So they scout that Roche is being done, but will they? They're kind of shifting over, but I think they're going to be too late.
It's way too late. The only place they can fight from is inside the base when they got buybacks. And got buybacks on DKAA as well as the ET.
And the turtling continues.
And Doom.
Cheese is going to sit on the Tiny in case he wants to use it. And TB's ability to just respawn, I mean, even getting killed in the first place looks hard. 2,600 HP on Terrible Blade with the 9-second
Miracle. Yeah, she just jumped on the back, putting out the Cataclysm. He wants to kill quickly onto Solo, remove that negative regeneration, then onto the Sand King. It's just the stuns, but there's so much damage from behind. Miracle just gets destroyed. DK is now doomed up too, and Liquid is split into multiple parts. No way for Kuro. Well, he'll try his TP, but that will not be successful. And he knows there's not enough regeneration to stop him from popping.
They're still on the back line, though. Dragon Knight's Doom has just ran out. Maybe they can go back in and find a kill?
Maybe, no, but you don't have the Invoker, and no one's actually looking towards mind control.
When he's to blink, oh, he gets hit. This is really bad now.
Turns for a Dragon Tail stun. He'll be able to blink. He can TP as well if he'd like to, but it's inside the base. Ramses has burned the Metamorphosis, beating into that melee Rax. GH is there to help out. Meanwhile, Mataman caught outside the base. Whoops indeed, and GG is called out from Liquid. They were trying so many things, but none of it working. virtus.pro, clean and surgical in their attack, take game one.
The lane win against the Lycan just proved very, very beneficial for them. VP as a whole just was able to get more farm and transition into these really strong games.